noobs.
Robert.
Robert?
Yes.
Hello, hello. Thank
Can
you
you hear me now?
We hear you very well.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about apologetics.
Uh-huh.
So you must have heard the watchmaker argument a few million times by now, yes?
Correct.
Well, I've told you a million times not to exaggerate, but yeah.
Why is it? I looked it up. It's a really old argument. But
William
why is
Paley.
it still a watch? Why not? Oh,
Say again.
I don't hear. Why is it always a watch and never a cell phone, a Roomba, anything else?
I think if you have a competent apologist, then it does sometimes become a cell phone. But if you have a less competent apologist, they're just reading things and then reciting what has been claimed to work in the past. So you don't necessarily have a lot of evolution of apologetics.
Although, I mean, Ray Comfort has his amazingly dumb variant, which is the Coke can. Right? He holds up the Coke can, or just a painting.
Yeah, that's only like 100 years out of date.
Yeah, but it just the simple-minded way of thinking. It's like a painter needs a painter, so apparently a universe needs a universer,
right?
Or whatever, right? It's this. You understand the simplicity of this kind of linear thinking that they do. But yeah, so why don't they update the watch argument to something more 21st century? Well, some do, I guess. But at the same time, the failure of the argument is always based in the same thing, which is, well, first off, the watchmaker argument is premised on the notion that you're walking through a natural landscape, say the desert or the beach or a forest, and you come upon this thing that is clearly an artifact. So if you are saying to yourself, well, here is an artifact, here is an intelligently designed object, and I know that this is the case because it is distinct from its environment, then essentially what you've just done is admitted that the environment is, unlike this artifact you have just found, an undesigned, naturally occurring phenomenon. So the watchmaker argument essentially refutes itself.
Okay, can I just ask one more quick thing? And
yes, you may.
Sure.
Yes. I'll go.
Yes.
What's up with the trees? Why does it always look at the trees? Why never the lawn, the flower?
It sounds like you're developing a whole stand-up routine right now. I don't understand why Christians always talk about trees.
Yes.
What's up with trees?
But really, it is the trees. It's always the trees.
Well, they want to point to the beauty of nature or something, and and I always say, okay, yes, well, trees are very pretty and sunsets are very pretty, and you can look at those things and say, God makes pretty things and He loves us, and I'm like, well, fine. So let's talk about Ebola, or let's talk about a puddle of vomit in an alley, right? Those are all. I mean, so the world has a great deal of beauty, and it has ugliness, and it has everything in between. And you're very much cherry picking if you just want to say, but look at the pretty thing outside, right? So that's again, just simple-minded thinking in terms of not very deep apologetics. And the reason it works on a lot of people is because most believers don't think that deeply about their beliefs. They just believe them because they feel nice, and it gives you a nice little happy fuzzy feeling.
Right.
So, but thank you for the calls
and
the funny questions. And who